Welcome to the University of British Columbia's Faculty of Forestry. This is Writing Strategies for Environmental Professionals. In this video, we're going to go over how to increase accessibility by creating written content that is organized, easily understood, usable by a wide range of readers, and presented in a clear and concise way. Creating accessible writing is now in demand. We're going to look at accessibility through 5 different lenses. The first thing that we'll look at is your audience. Your audience is anyone who may engage with your writing. You can think of them as anyone who's your reader. The next piece that we'll look at are your language choices. Language choices are always tied to your audience. The third thing that we'll look at is our use of visual aids. There are so many visuals we can use to increase the accessibility of our writing. The fourth part we'll look at is about formatting our final document. And the very last thing that we'll consider is doing our final edits and our final revisions. Revising our document at the end will put the finishing touches on. So first, let's start with audience. We're going to focus on the reader by always keeping your intended audience in mind and tailoring your writing to their needs. For example, a policy memo for government officials will need to be different than a brochure that's aimed at educating the public. We're going to keep in mind things like demographics, expertise, their motivations, their prior experience with what you're talking about, their language or languages, their values and beliefs that they bring, and whatever medium or format that they might be doing the reading in. So related to audience will bring us into our next accessibility piece, which is language. For language choices, we're going to consider a general audience. For a general audience, we want to use simple, effective, and inclusive language. We want to avoid technical jargon or industry-specific acronyms whenever we can, but support and scaffold any technical terms that we need to use. Use easy definitions for unknown words, and use gender-inclusive words like they, them, forestry worker, fisher, environmental steward, or chair instead of chairman. The third accessibility piece is around using visual aids. Diagrams, infographics, and other visual aids listed here can be a great way to convey complex information in a simple and engaging way. This is particularly important when dealing with data-heavy subjects, where a graph or a chart can often communicate information more effectively than using a big block of text. The fourth consideration around formatting can really add a lot of accessibility to your document. Format your document effectively using things like text headings and white space. We can do this by using bullet points, numbered lists, indents and extra spacing, examples, summary boxes. We can also offer our reading in multiple formats. Multiple formats might be just as easy as uploading both a Word document and a PDF. Be careful with the fonts that you choose. Some fonts are really difficult to read, as you can see here. We also want to think about how we're using color to convey our message. Remember that not all people see all colors in the same way. We can also use what's called alternative text. If you right-click on a picture in a document, an alt text box will come up in which you can put a description of the picture, which is really helpful for people reading by using a screen reader. The last part we're going to talk about is revisions and editing. Always proofread your work and ideally have someone else do as well. Spelling and grammar errors can distract from your message and undermine your credibility. It's also important to revise your writing to ensure that the ideas flow logically and the text is concise and clear. Try to take a break, read out loud, focus on one thing, change it, and use spell or grammar checkers, and if appropriate, ethical or legal, use an online tool like ChatGPT for additional feedback. This has been Writing Strategies for Environmental Professionals for increasing accessibility in your writing at the UBC Faculty of Forestry.